Peace. What's poppin', my weebles? It's your boy, Sincere Seven, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. The Pad, representing the House of Genesis. All right, so I've been off of social media for a little bit now. You know what I'm saying? Focused on some other things, getting myself together and regrouping and getting ready for classes and educational things that we're offering and different retreats and just got a lot going on, right? But as y'all see, I'm back now, right? But I did say that when I came back that I wanted to do more building, more talking about things that people care about as opposed to my personal stuff, right? And so one of the main things that I said that I wanted to bring back was an awareness of bringing back, how can I say, more integrity to these spaces, more acknowledgement of certain things, more, what is that word? Accountability, right? To the alternative practitioner spaces. And this is whether it's in theogenic or in the healthcare field, right? And so I've been basically creating and formatting what I feel like is important for all of us, every single one of us as practitioners out here, to be in tune with when it comes into principles and being clear and being honest and all of these things, because regulation, there we go, that's the word I'm looking for, regulation and accountability in the alternative healing spaces, because it's not enough. And the Western medical would not care about this, because the more that our field fucks up, the more that people won't fuck with us and they stay in that Western medicine, right? So we have to be self-accountable, okay? We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to regulate one another. We have to keep each other responsible. And so part of that, to me, is offering information that is correct, okay? And so with that, the challenge is that people are scared to speak against individuals who might already have names, might have followings, things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak on a few things that have become, for whatever reason, just believed on face value over time based off of individuals being who they are. There's no need to speak an individual's name. However, if you've heard these things before, then you might be aware of the types of things that I'm speaking of, which is why I don't feel like it's necessary to say, oh, this person, this person, this person. But let's talk about some things that was said over years in time that people have taken as truth because of where these people were at. And one of those things that I want to speak about today is that hybrid or seedless fruits are nutritionally dead. What? Hybrid or seedless fruits are nutritionally dead. Well, that's not true. Okay? And somebody is going to have to address these types of things and actually bring a correction to them. So that's what I'm doing today. All right? So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about seedless fruits and hybrid fruits and why they are not nutritionally dead, and why individuals who have taken this on face value and started this whole movement of individuals who are just running around talking about why they'll never eat seedless fruits, and if you eat seedless fruits, you seedless, and your testicles ain't gonna work and your womb ain't gonna work and it's not worth eating and it's nutritionally dead. And you got people who are walking past fruits in the grocery store and are deciding to not eat that fruit at all because the only thing that they see is the seedless kind, and they have been taught that seedless fruits are nutritionally dead and that hybrids are nutritionally dead. Okay, let's talk about it. So first and foremost, for those of y'all who don't have a whole lot of time, That's false. There you go. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right. Now, oh, you know what? I'm sitting here trimming cannabis, and I didn't even, this is not planned out. Let me just be very clear. But what a coincidence for me to be sitting here trimming this, because this is the example that I'm going to use to explain something to you all. Okay. I've been growing cannabis for over 20 years. I'm one of the best cannabis growers in Michigan, period, hands down. There's no debate about that. Ask around and they will confirm this. Okay. I'm an organic grower, meaning I grow cannabis organically. I grow it using the things that come from the earth and that are of the earth to bring back the earth and the the environment, right? So that the plant can be supported by the environment that the plant grows in. Okay, let's start there. Now, this is what they used to refer to as sinsemilla. Sinsemilla. Back in the day, they called this sinsemilla. What does that mean? Without, sin means without, senillia seeds. My name is Sincere. Sin means without, sear means wax. I'm gonna come out the fire the way that I was put in, okay? Sinsemilla weed or cannabis means without seeds. Here we go, seedless, okay? So by definition, if what we were told was correct, this is nutritionally dead or medicinally dead because of the lack of seeds, and that it's a genetically modified organism or a hybrid, okay? Because it has no seeds. Now, a lot of people hear this and they like, oh my God, I'm not eating nothing else without seeds because I was just told that things without seeds are genetically modified and they're hybrids and they lack nutrients and all of this, right? Because of the way that they are created. Okay. So this cannabis that I'm trimming right now, it has no seeds. So what did I do to create a cannabis that doesn't have seeds? Because if you remember back in the day when we used to smoke, it had seeds. We call that Reggie's. Remember, right? We had Reggie's. So where the hell this new GMO hybrid genetically selected crazy no seed having cannabis come from? Somebody must have genetically modified something in the laboratory to make it to where this cannabis has no. So let me explain to you how this works. And this might sound familiar if you've heard about the bees and the butterflies and different things like that. But as a gardener, you will plant seeds. When they start to grow, this is what I think it's called dioecious, meaning one plant is a female and one plant is a male, okay? So as these grow, have you heard the whole, when you look at the green pepper, look at the bottom, if it's got 4 humps, it's a female, but if it has 2, it's a male. Y'all heard that? That's bullshit. Wait, what? You just said? No. Follow me. The plant is a male or a female. The female flower grows in a certain way. And that is what we refer to as the cannabis, right? These are female flowers, right? They're buds of flowers all together. The male plant, when it grows what looks like little balls. When people see them, they say, oh, that plant got a bunch of seeds already. They're not seeds. They're testicles. They're not, because that's male genitalia on a human body, so they're not called that. But what I'm just giving you the idea on your mind. And the flowers on cannabis are shaped like a V. It's like a little pod, and then it has 2 little booms coming out, stems, right? And so it almost could refer to like a woman with her legs spread. Boom, 2 legs coming out. And the male plants has little pods on them. And when they mature and get bigger, they pop. And when they pop, the pollen comes out into the air. And if you have fans or wind, it blows the pollen, which lands on the sticky female flowers. That's why female flowers are sticky. It's like women. They're trying to attract the male pollen, right? So when I'm growing my cannabis and they start to show in their puberty, right? Or sex, they show their sex. And I say, oh, let me get all of the males out of the room. Let me get all the males out. Throw those away, okay? We get all the males out. Now the room is filled with nothing but female plants. Those female plants want to get pregnant. They want to attract the pollen, so they grow more and more and get more sticky and get more colors to attract the pollinators, get more smells, get more vibrant, because they're trying to attract the pollen so that they continue on their life cycle. But if you keep all of the males out of the garden, right, then you will keep the pollen from spreading to the female flowers. Now, in nature, if I farm, I'm going to ask a beekeeper to put bees somewhere near my garden, because they're going to go from the male plants to the female plants. Now, some plants have the male and female plants on the same plant in separate parts of it. So the pollinators have to come land on the male part and take the pollen and put it on the female part. When that happens, that flower or female plant gets pregnant. And now it has seeds. Okay, y'all with me so far? Okay. So therefore, you can grow seedless fruits, vegetables, and different things of this nature. Now, some things, because everything, let me be very clear, everything doesn't grow the same. That's why I said there's some plants with the male and the female flowers on them. And there's some plants that some are male and they pollinate, and some are female and they get, okay? However, where I'm going with this is that you can create seedlessness in the, this would be called, selective breeding. There we go. It's like when you breed animals, right? You keep anything else away from that dog because it's a full-bred cane corso. So the only thing you want to breed with this dog is another full-bred cane corso type, okay? Now, the other part about hybrids. Hybrids are created through genetic selection. It's like if you think about people who grow mushrooms, right? And then you hear that one of the mushrooms did something or had a display that was different than the rest of them. This is where albino strains come from, because all of those mushrooms was growing and then one of them came out completely white or leucistic with a lack of melanin, because this is what happens in nature, right? So you'll take that one, select it, and breed it, selective breeding, to take the trait that it had and have all of those coming after it to have that trait, okay? So when you hear this fruit is a hybrid or this vegetable is a hybrid, right? It can come that way or by two things in nature coming together and allowing for a hybrid to take place. Let me be clear. To give off the idea that this was done in a lab somewhere is misconception. This is not things that are done in the lab. These are things that nature will do. And watch this. If it's done in a lab by what I call this human intervention, even then It's not a genetically modified organism. Understand what I'm saying, y'all. At one point in time, black people was on one part of the planet, white people was somewhere else. There was not mixing. If an individual went and took a black person off of Africa and a white person from Europe and brought them together and put them in a laboratory and told them, y'all have sex, and they have sex and they produce a child, we would not call mixed interracial children genetically modified organisms, or even imply that the value, the nutritional, the quality or of life is different because of. This is the same concept that has been given to individuals, and they have taken it and ran with it, right? And now think that broccoli is some type of crazy vegetable that you should avoid at all costs because it was this and this that came together in a laboratory experiment by Dr. Frankenstein. No, that's not quite right. Okay. There's also what's called grafting, where you will take a plant such as a cherry tree and you will cut 4 or 5 of the main branches off. Meanwhile, you'll cut off main branch off of 4 different plants, such as a peach, an apple, maybe a nectarine and a tangerine, and you'll take all of those branches and you'll put one of each on that plant. So understand, it's one plant, it's a cherry tree from the root system going up. And it had cherry tree stems coming off, but you have cut 4 of them off and replaced them with a stem from another type of cherry, maybe a peach, maybe an apple, things like this. And you had maybe put some honey in between, taped it up, and got it to solidify and continue to grow on there. Now, throughout the seasons, it's going to produce the fruit on the tree from the branch that it is. So you have one tree with 4 or 5 different varieties or even different fruits all together growing on it. Okay? Is this something you should be alarmed for? No. Is it something that should be avoided? No. These are nature is amazing. Okay? It should not be avoided, just like if you needed a heart transplant. Should not be avoided. Okay? So I wanted to bring back some understanding, right? Hybrid and seedless fruits are nutritionally dead is a false statement. Okay? Selective breeding does not equal genetic engineering, and neither one of those equals a loss of nutrients. Okay? So I just want y'all to understand that. So seedless grapes, bananas, watermelon, etc., they are nutritionally comparable to the seeded varieties. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the opposite. When I have a garden and I say, hey, I need more bees to be by, it's because they're going to pollinate more areas, which is going to bring about more fruit, right? Because different things grow differently. So what I explained about the cannabis is not all the way around like how everything grows. Let me be very clear. However, I needed you all to understand that aspect, to understand that the way to achieve different things is not laboratory styled, you know what I'm saying? Now, is there companies like Monsanto and others that are doing things in the laboratory? Oh, most definitely they are. Oh, most definitely. So again, don't let me lead you too far, but let's keep things in content of what they actually are. What does nutrient content vary by? One is the soil. So while a lot of people are avoiding things that have a lack of fruit, the truth of the matter is some of both of the options don't matter because they've been growing this same thing there for tens to 50 to 100 years without rotating crops, because monoculture is now something that is taking place on the planet. And monoculture destroys the earth as opposed to supports it. So people who do what they would call responsible, is another name, farming, they rotate their crops. This year, we're going to grow all the corn and potatoes and this and that here. We're going to grow this, that here. We're going to grow this here. And we're going to herd all our animals here. Next year, we're going to switch it up. We're going to switch them over there, this over here, this over. And as you do that over time, it creates a symbiosis and a balance because you're not depleting the earth. So when you're buying products that come from companies who practice monoculture, it don't matter if it got seeds in it or not. The shit already is nutritionally lacking. Okay? So that's why farming your own food is something that is very, very important if you are that focused on the food quality. Okay? So what else? Ripeness matters in the nutritional density of the food. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're eating it when it's fresh or when it's more ripe. And different foods have different nutritional values and levels based off of the ripeness, based off of the different fruit or vegetable. You understand where I'm coming from? The way you cook them changes the nutritional content of the fruits, the vegetables, and the plants that you use. But having seeds in it does not change that. Okay. If you look at seedless fruits and compare a seeded variety from the same place, the same environment, growing off this, it's not going to be no drastic difference. You know what I'm saying? That is false. You know what I'm saying? We've been led to believe different things. And so, let's just bring back the reality of that. So, and to put that into it, to say that seedless fruits or vegetables have no electrical life force, okay, due to hybridization, that is, not only is that, okay, I ain't even gonna say that's false. I'm gonna say there's no such thing. And when you're looking at fruits, vegetables, things like that, when you're saying, you know what I'm saying, electrical life force, what would you use to measure the electrical life force of a grape that has a seed in it, so that we can compare the electrical life force? That's not an actual word that's utilized when it comes to talking about fruits, and that was like a what we call self-styled wisdom. Okay, so there's science and then there's art. Okay, the science is what it is, the art is how you display what it is, right? And there's an art to linguistics, there's an art to talking, right? There's an art to it. And so a lot of times what happens is scholars, right, or people who teach, who train, who are responsible for the education of other people, they will be going through some things scientifically, okay? And then what they'll do is they'll start to explain those things in a deeper manner using what we call they self-styled wisdom, okay? What that is the manner in which they speak, the way they say things, the way they explain things. This is their self-styled wisdom. I heard an individual one time, they was talking and they were explaining, should we or should we not eat meat? And they were saying da-da-da. And then they went in and said, we should not be drinking water. We should be getting all of our water from fruits and vegetables. We should not be drinking water. And And if you want to think about it, if we were, our hands would be shaped like cups. This is what they said. Now, I was talking to somebody about this individual, and I said, listen, when it comes to the science, this brother is cold. Anything he say, I pretty much take it, you know what I'm saying, on face value in a conversation and study it later. But his self-styled wisdom, he lose me at that. So that's what I'm saying is your self-styled wisdom is different than the science that you display. So I believe that there's individuals who've used words like electrical life force in their self-styled wisdom, and people have taken that scientifically. It's not. That's not it. That's like, because if it is, then tell me the measurement of the electrical life force of this fruit or vegetable, because it has a fruit in it. And then we'll say, all right, let's look at the electrical life force the same way that you're looking at this one. We'll put the seedless version on, right? Now, are there things that are in seeds specifically that if you're trying to get a large amount of that might not be in the seedless type? Yes. There's a lot of, I think, protein in seeds, right? So if I was growing this cannabis and I was going to be grinding it and eating it, then I might want the seeds in it. Make sense? So it's not that the fruit is lacking anything. It's that you're looking for the ingredient that's in the seed. For instance, apples, right? Apples have seeds, and those seeds contain cyanide. Another one is the apricot. Those of y'all who know that apricot seeds have high amounts of B15, I think, or something. And so people will take this when they are on a journey against cancer, right? And so, see what I'm saying? So if you're looking for the seed for what's in it, but the lack of the seed does not change the quality of the fruit. If the fruit and the ingredients, the nutrients and the vitamins from the fruit is what you need. I hope that helped y'all. And if anybody wants to, correct me somewhere, as I always say, don't stop me when you don't like something I said. Stop me when I'm wrong. I invite you to correct me. I'm a lifetime student and honored to be a teacher. But I just want to come in and speak about those different things. And I will be speaking about more as the days go. Every day I'm pretty much going to address, every day that I come on, I'm going to be addressing things that need to be addressed. It's been long enough, and we need to speak up about quite a few different things. So I hope that helps. Hope y'all enjoying. If y'all want to hear follow-ups and the other things that we got coming, go ahead and follow me. Go on to YouTube, Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. Follow the videos. And if you're interested in becoming a practitioner, www.venompractitioner.org. But other than that, just tell somebody you love them in the language that they can understand it in. Peace.